I am Lavon Sanders, and I am Woo Wee. Woo Wee stands for Women Helping to Encourage Women, Women's Empowerment. I created this group because I've seen for a long time how we as women treat each other, and I felt a platform was needed where we can have those conversations with one another. We should be able to support each other and be on each other's team. There tends to be a lot of jealousy amongst women, and I just think at the age we're at, it's time to let go of those issues. This is why I created Woo Wee, and I appreciate everyone's support. Let's continue to ride this journey together. Again, I am Lavon Sanders, a woman helping to encourage women. Welcome to another episode of Woo Wee with Buffy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tonight we will be talking about Let It Go. I am super excited to present this topic tonight along with my guest. If this is your first time tuning in, I thank you for allowing me to share this platform with you. Woo Wee started out as a group on Facebook. I decided that I wanted to take this off of Facebook simply because I think we just need to come together. We need to be in each other's presence and not just on social media. So I'm trying to create a platform where we're able to do that. The Woo Wee Talk Show is going to allow us to do that. So I am excited to share this opportunity with you guys, and I will start tonight by introducing my two wonderful guests. I have Vernetta Poindexter, and I have Carolina here with us as well. So if you ladies don't mind just taking a few minutes to let us know about yourselves.
Sure. I've been in the Roanoke Valley for like almost 22 years.
Okay.
My children were born and raised here. I was actually born in West Virginia.
Okay.
Migrated here when I was 17. It's been a up and down roller coaster, but
Okay.
In the end, positive.
Okay.
That's me.
Well, thank you for joining. Carolina?
And you can stop me if I'm going too long, but I tend to overtalk. I'm from Venezuela, South America, and I am an engineer. But I used to work in a company in Venezuela, and many years ago I had to leave my country and come find new adventures here in USA. I moved to Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I was blessed to find there a new career in the biomedical sciences, and I started doing medical research in Harvard, where I met who is now my husband. My husband happened to be a person who grew up here in Roanoke, Virginia.
Okay.
So we used to come visit his family here a lot, and I always loved Roanoke. But we lived in Boston for 10 years. Then our careers took us to San Diego, California. Also got to explore the West Coast.
Okay.
But after 15 years on the road and moving from places to places, my husband Eric wanted to come back home. And he missed Roanoke, and I was very happy to find in Roanoke a beautiful city that I actually call like a magical city, because it's not as cold as Boston. Sorry for my Boston friends, but I still have South American blood inside of me. So, and it's a good balance. I mean, it's not as cold as Boston, but it's not as hot as San Diego, and it rains, and I love the rain. So I'm happy to be here, and I am trying to I continue working on healthcare and doing data analysis for the medical industry, but at the same time I am very happy to be here with you with Woo Wee Group, because I feel like at this time in my life I am ready to express and to just what you just said, to let go. And I want to encourage people and other women who are watching the show to do the same. I mean, there is just a time of your life where you have to decide, to let go of those baggages and worries and things that are blocking your way. So
Absolutely.
That's me. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you joining me tonight, and we will be right back after this message.
Ooh-wee, I got all my sisters with me. Woo-wee, I got all my sisters with me.
I know firsthand the effects of sickle cell anemia.
I didn't start knowing about sickle cell anemia until I started growing up and had friends that had it. And
I've learned a lot about sickle cell anemia. I've had no other choice. I'm a father of 3 sons who were born with sickle cell anemia, and
Our cells are sickled instead of fully circular, so that's easier for it to clot and cause a sickle cell crisis, which put a young man through a lot of pain, young man, young woman through a lot of pain.
this disease that affects over 100,000 people in America alone.
My brother passed away from it. My oldest brother, at the age of 16 years old. Me and my other brother, we've been battling with it our entire life. So
sickle cell has affected my life because I've had friends that had it, and just seeing what, like, we'll be out there playing one day, and then, you know, seeing them the next day, like the stuff they go through, it just happens just like that, and you don't really know when it's gonna hit. And
yeah, it's affected me in a major ways. Couldn't play sports like I wanted to. Yeah, it's something, man.
Sickle cell, man, it's a whole different thing, man, because imagine one minute your child is out playing and everything's fine. Then 20 minutes later, they're in unbearable pain that you can't do nothing about.
Sickle cell crisis, man, it's the worst pain in your life, man.
To see this and realize, like, how sickle cell can affect a family and friends in so many ways. And
will I ever be able to get over this? Is this ever gonna stop? You feel me? Because crisis can last for days on end. They could last for weeks. You feel me? So
seen and learned about going up through my friends. Like, my message would just be like, spend time, like, care and be there, and, you know, just love one another, be there for each other.
Because it's not just for me, it's for everybody with sickle cell. Your loved ones, my loved ones, people we don't even know. They suffer from this disease, man, and we can do something, save their life. We can make it better.
Woo-wee, I got all my sisters with me. Woo-wee, I got all my sisters with me.
This segment of Woo Wee brought to you by Spotless America. Spotless America, making your business shine. A clean facility makes a good impression on visitors. 1327 Grandin Road, Roanoke, Virginia. Call 540-765-8267 or visit them online at www.spotlessamerica.com.
Welcome back to Woo Wee. So tonight's topic again, it's called Let It Go. What that means to me and what I think that we all can relate to is as women, and I won't say that men don't hold on to things, but I think as women, because we carry a lot of weight and burden on us, that we tend to hold on to things probably that we should not. And I know that we hold on to things for a very long time. I know that a stereotype as it relates to this topic, as it relates to women, is we will never forget what you've done, what you've said, how you said it, when you said it, the date you said it, the time you said it. And I'm making a joke, but at the same time, I'm being honest. I feel like it's true. However, when you get to a place where you are holding on to things that are detrimental, maybe to your health, to your well-being, to your mental status, some things we just have to learn to let go. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Those are the things that I want to address. So those of you that are watching, whoever this message is for, And I say that every show because I know within my heart that someone is watching, several of you are watching right now, that you are holding on to those things, and it's just time to let it go. So you were kind of headed into that direction, Carolina, right before the break. What does let it go mean to you?
Well, like I said before, let it go is that, well, for me, when you have things that you have accumulated, so many of those feelings that you said, for me, it's kind of like having a heavy weight, like a heavy load here on my shoulders. I know that, that's a very metaphoric way to express it, but it is what it is. I mean, that's how I feel it. If I bring some examples from my own life, for me, let it go has been, for example, forgiving someone. And that someone has often been myself. Like sometimes you have this kind of like self-guilt, like you did something and you wish you would have done it differently. In my case, I'm very self-judgmental of usually because I am an extrovert, sometimes I say things and they come out in a way, and then I realize, oh my gosh, did I just say that? Right. And even though, you might see me here laughing and all that, there are times that I have to really think of what I just said and how I could have hurt someone. Right. Sometimes my intentions is just, to make a joke, to light the environment, but when I say things and I see the possibility that I could have hurt someone by what I just said or what I just did or the way I acted, it really makes me feel this guilt that is like, oh my gosh, Carolina, And so nothing is more relieving for me that either contacting that person that I felt, might have gotten hurt by something I said, and say, forgive me, that was not my intention. That was not at all what I was going to. And sometimes I have to also forgive myself because I start kind of like thinking, oh my gosh, it's like, why didn't you do that? You're kind of silly and stupid. I don't want to say that. I try to tell my kids not to say that word, but yes, I feel stupid. And that's for me, let it go. Let it go, as an example, could be that. Could be either forgiving someone who did something to you because, I know that just like it happened to me, it could happen to somebody else.
That's right.
Some people says things to me, they don't mean it in a bad way. But sometimes if I'm sensitive, I'm from another culture, sometimes I'm sensitive to what people may think about my culture. And so they say things, they don't have bad intentions, but I'm sensitive at the moment, and it still hurts. So I always have to look back and say, hey, I have done it. I have said things that I didn't intend to say, and just like I recognize that, I have to feel the same respect and compassion for somebody else who may have made a mistake. Exactly. And might be regretting right now, but some people don't get to actually connect with you anymore and doesn't get to say, I'm sorry, Carolina, and all that. So that to me is letting go. Awesome. Let go of that feeling, let go of the guilt, because as long as you have a recognition of what is bad or good, for me it's led by the fact on whether you hurt someone or not. I mean, that's to me what defines good or bad.
Awesome.
But that would be a way for me to let go, and I hope what I just said, people can identify with that, and if you're feeling that that guilt for something you said, you did, or the other way around, that someone said something to you that hurt you. It could have been years. That's the other thing, like what you said.
Hold on to
like
it.
We women, we can remember.
Remember the day, the time, the day
oh
of the
my
week,
gosh.
the hour, the
what
minute.
Was your mom
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, like what perfume he was. It's just the way we are. But yes, if any of you feel in that situation, I hope I motivate you to do as I try to do. We're human. We make mistakes.
Everybody
sometimes.
makes mistakes.
Yes. We make mistakes, and just like we do, we have to accept that other people does too.
Exactly.
So let it go. Forgive.
So what do you think about letting go? Do you find that you hold on to things I think sometimes, some things, I'm not saying let go everything, but I think sometimes when it's creating negativity in your space or in your mindset, I think those are the things sometimes that we need to let go. What do you think about that?
Well, here's the thing. Like, in my life, I've been through a lot. You know, a failed marriage, infidelity, you know, adultery. And I could have hated, you know, who did that to me.
Yeah.
But a spiritual aspect comes in. You give that too much energy.
Exactly.
And that will eat you up.
It will.
Oh, man.
And it will take you off focus of things that you need to be focused on and accomplishments that you could accomplish because you keep on feeding into what happened. I had to learn, like you said, let it go. Because it will eat you up. When you forgive, don't look at it that you're forgiving that person and you're doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself because you need to release. You got to release it. And one thing that I can honestly say, you know, my family, you know, my sisters, they always tell me, don't hold grudges. Do not hold grudges because where you're sitting up there mad, that person going
They
on.
already have moved.
They done moved on, and you're
Right.
still
Not
sitting
even
up there
thinking
with
about it.
exactly. You still got this frown on your face of what they done did to you in your past.
That's true.
Just because you can speak to them, that's when you know you've made it.
That's right.
When you have been able, even though you have done me wrong, disrespected me, but when I can speak to you and smile
And
in your
keep
face
moving.
and keep on moving,
Right.
I've won. You know, you no longer have that on me. I am no longer beating myself up because when it's just more than you and your life that you got to think about, you don't have time to be sitting there holding no grudges.
Exactly.
And you don't have time to be, no, woe is me.
Right.
You know, life is hard. And one of the advices that I give my kids is, don't do things to make your life harder. Because life is already going to be hard enough. So, you fall, you get back up, let it go.
Yeah.
And just last week, like I said, these past 2 weeks has been really, really frustrating for me. Like I said, I have been trying to contain myself, want to go outside, just scream, just want to slam a door because I'm not happy about something, and I just can't seem to get this person hey, woohoo, it's me over here. This is how I'm feeling. And you need to look and listen and let how I'm feeling. But then it's just I went to church and I just prayed and I just left it there. I just let it go.
Yeah.
One thing that we tend to do is we try to fix things ourselves. What he tells us, he don't need our help.
He does not need our help.
He don't, because every time we fix it, we what?
We get it now.
mess it up. We mess it up. So I had to really get myself there, and it was really, really hard. But I felt not only the mental status affected it was taking on me, then I started feeling the physical. You know, the tightness in the stomach and being, you know, disoriented and just being absent. And I'm like, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. Because you can't fix anybody.
No, you can't.
They got to fix themselves.
That's true.
You cannot fix anybody.
Yeah.
They're just who they are.
That's true.
Just who they are. So it was just to the point where, you know what? I'm going to continue to do what I have to do to reach my goals.
For you.
For me.
Absolutely.
You have to work on you. I'm here for you, but I can't keep pushing you to do. You're going to have to want to do. So I just came to my mind and
Let it go.
I let it go. I just let it go, and I got back focused on me.
you. What's important.
That was so important because it will eat you up.
Well, thank you both for both of those testaments to things that you are experiencing or have experienced. So I definitely appreciate that. And we will continue this conversation and do so right after this.
All right.
Ooh-wee, I got all my sisters with me. Ooh-wee, I got all my sisters with me.
Don't bother me, I'm working. 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 Don't work it. Working.
I matter because I help people every day learn about their medications and their health, and I matter because I'm a human and every life matters.
Ooh-wee, I got all my sisters with me. Ooh-wee, I got all my sisters with me.
Welcome back to Woo Wee. We were just discussing let it go. Whatever that means for you and whatever you may be dealing with in your life. Let it go could mean let go of a bad relationship. Let it go can mean something that someone's done to you that hurt you. If there's been no apology, again, as you said, I think it's important for forgiveness. And that's something I want to talk about on a different episode. However, that forgiveness is important because it releases you from that anger and anxiety and frustration. Does not mean they can still be the best of your best friends with you or even be in your space. But what it does is release you from those negative feelings that you're holding inside. Let it go can mean something that happened at work. Let it go can just mean a broad spectrum of things. I just think that sometimes we hold on to things for a long period of time, and there's nothing wrong with having your moment to live in that situation, grieve the situation, do whatever you need to do to get to that place to let it go. But just to stay in that and hold on to it for years and years. I know people that have held on to things for 10, 15, 20 years. And what that does, when you hold on to something that long and there's no forgiveness involved, it can trigger so many different other issues in your life. So back to what we were discussing with let it go. I think that, I know for me, it's something that I had to grow to learn to do. I think it's something that you have to mature into because it's easy to hold on to negative things. It's easy to walk around and not speak to that person because they made you mad. How do you feel about, as I said, how easy was it for you to be able to let go, whatever the situation that you were just describing, and or anything else that you've dealt with? Is it something that you found that you had to grow into?
It was something that I had to grow into because, as she was saying, sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, is it me? You tend to blame. You start to blame yourself because of the way things have turned out or the way things are going. So the first person you want to look at is you.
And you should.
Right. Because sometimes now, in certain situations, certain things, you keep getting the same results, then it is time to look at you. Exactly. And that's just how it is. But you know when it's time to say, it's not me. When you have went in with positiveness, with no negativity, and you're giving all that effort, you know, of what is expected of you. And what hurts is when you don't get back what you're giving or what you expect of them. So you're doing all this trying and all this trying and all this giving, and it's wearing you out. It's wearing you out. So you have to love yourself. That's the first step. You got to love yourself. Because if you always just looking for someone else to love you, to I want to say, feel that void or whatever, then you don't always get the same results.
Sure.
Because you're feeling needy. And who wants a needy person? You know what I'm saying? That they gotta always tiptoe around you and make sure that they ain't said this the wrong way. They ain't doing this the wrong because they gotta, be in your feelings. So you gotta fix yourself first before you can have something strong. So you can have something healthy. You can't go. It's okay because that's what you lean on for that comfort, and that's okay. But don't lean on that because that's what you're looking for to make everything all right. Everything gotta be all right within yourself first. It really does. So with that, getting to that level, that just did not happen overnight. I had to control anger. I was bad. I would be ready to fight you in a minute. But you have to learn to control yourself and look at where you want to go and how you want to grow. And in order to do that, you got to work on you. So you have to forget about what's in the world or what that person did to you or how you want that person to feel about you. We all probably want everybody to like us. That's just not the reality.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But you have to not let that become your problem.
Right.
That's their problem.
Right.
The only thing you can do is just be you. Just be real. Be you. You may not be in my circle, but I'm going to treat you with respect.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, whether you get that back to me, that's on you. But guess what? I can walk out that door, and it's not nothing you can say bad about me. Because I didn't feed back into what you gave me. That's called growing.
Exactly.
And that's called letting things go. If it don't make you, it's not going to let, and it don't break you, you got to look at this. It doesn't matter. You have to look at the significance and the importance of it. Is this paying your bills? This is what feeding you. This is what's going to get you to your next level. You got to learn of knowing what is important and what's not important. And when you're trying to get to that next level, you want to get rid of the negativity.
You got me on that line because when you said the word learn, especially because that's how I see it. I see it as a learning process.
Yes, it's a
sometimes
learning
you learn things about yourself. I mean,
and you do.
I mean, how many times does it happen that you say, "Oh, I would never do that. I would never do that," and then you are sometimes under situations that something comes inside of you and you react in a way that are like, "Oh my gosh, I never thought." You know, so it's hard sometimes to. For us as human to say, oh, I know exactly what to do and how to do it. And the learning process to me is key. Sometimes, like you said, you have these expectations of people doing things back to you with the same passion and with the same love that you give. But when that doesn't happen, maybe the expectations you have, that's where you have to change.
Right. It can be too high.
Maybe you have to not expect that.
Just expect what you want for yourself. And like I said, it really, really took me a minute to get there. So there it was. And one thing you really have to realize is where you see a negative, always try to find that positive. Because when something negative, this is what I've learned. When something negative comes my way, I'll just be like, you know what? Let me think about it. I'm gonna find a positive aspect. You even have to do that on your job. Every day you have to, because if you keep on the negativity and it's sad, seem like it can hold on to you more than a positive. So you got to train your mind to where there's a negative.
But sometimes I think people want to pour that negative out of you because that's what they expect. So for me, when I find myself in that situation, I do the opposite because I know that's what they want me to do. And that way, when I do the opposite, it's gonna surprise them.
Exactly.
And then
that's I like
that's
clever.
Exactly. So
they expect you to react like with anger and to burst and and then when you're like calm and you're like, you know what, it didn't affect me the way that you wanted to affect me, they get actually very frustrated.
They do.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Does it happen to you that sometimes it could be that something negative happens, like you said, negative positive, right? So something negative happened, but then that's the way I see it. I don't know if you guys have thought about it this way. But when something bad happens to me, I always feel, oh man, it must be like something good is about to come.
That's
Did you guys feel
That's
that?
that positive
It's
side.
true.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, it's a test.
it is.
There you go.
And sometimes things will come at you just to see, God places things in our path to see how we will react.
Right.
Are we going to keep doing the same thing over and over?
Right.
Or are we going to do something different?
Right.
And I firmly believe that when you take the higher road and when you're the bigger person, definitely something good is going to happen. Because, and are we able to do that every single solitary? No.
No.
You've said it several times tonight, we're human.
Yep.
And as human, we react from emotions and feelings. So if someone hurts you or if someone does something negative, it's reflex or reactionary to do the same thing back, because that's what we're taught from childhood on up as adults. But at some point as an adult, we have to take responsibility for who we are, how we react to that situation, because at the end of the day, we know right from wrong.
That's right.
So at that point, we have to take the higher road, because there will be something great that happens to that. So on that note,
That's why you call like emotional intelligence, right? Being emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah, there are people that are, very intelligent in other aspects, math and physics and all that, but not everyone is emotionally intelligent. I mean, and that's hard. That's really hard.
But I just think life lessons create that for you. Things that you go through and things that you experience create that.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's pretty much what that is. I think everything that we're talking about and that we've talked about creates the opportunity for us to try to do something different. And that's the whole preface of why I created this group. And these are the types of things that I want to continue to put out there, because we're not discussing and talking about these things as women. So that's my goal, and that's the mission of the Woo Wee group. So I appreciate you both for taking the opportunity to talk about these things with me tonight. So we will be right back.
It's all in me. Yeah, I can be every woman with Brie and B, fashions and accessories.
Welcome back to Woo Wee. I would like to take the opportunity to thank my guests tonight. I appreciate you both for being here. It's a great topic.
For having us.
I think the message was very clear. Let it go. Whatever you're holding on to, if it's not anything that's manifesting positivity in your life, it's time to let it go. If it's something that you need to forgive someone for, forgive them and move on. You don't need that apology to move forward. Just let it go. So to you ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, LaVon. Thank you so much.
Woo-wee.
Thank you. Woo-wee. Let it go. Let it go. I can't hold it back anymore. Okay, I just needed to do. Thank you for letting me think.
Let me hit this Jeffrey real quick, man. Let me tell y'all a little story about a man and a woman, and how that woman attempted to marry another man, but the first man stepped in and said what he had to say. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. So he held his peace. Is what he said right here.
There's a book called Roll Jordan Roll by Eugene Genovese, and he talks in that book about what it means to be African American, what it means to be black, what does it mean to experience slavery. He talks about slavery in a different perspective. He talks about it in the sense where slavery is paternalistic. It was something that was a domain, and people went with what they knew to be correct. That's much to the likes of African Americans today. We are born in systems, we're born in communities, and we're born in environments that causes us to react in a certain way, and it depletes the opportunity for exposure, meaning we can't think beyond our level of exposure. Rather, I mean, this is clear. Dr. Jeff Goddard writes this book called The Love Prescription, and in it he talks about PTSD, but post-traumatic slave disorder. We as African Americans, we take on a license of blame. We take on the suspension of accountability. We no longer are accountable for our own actions. No, we do not take responsibility for them. We play the blame game, and when we play the blame game, there's no action, there's no progression, there's a reciprocal nature of just nothingness. There's an old saying that excuses are tools of incompetence used to build mountains of nothingness, and those that use them seldom accomplish anything. I believe that to be true. There's a lot of things that we can do as a people that will get us off of that hiatus of complacency. You know, if we truly just look at each other and give each other a hand out, that hand out can become a hand up. Why? People say don't give a hand out. No. We need to do that because we've been doing enough of the stealing from one another. What do you mean stealing from one another? Well, then we rob each other of our potential when we don't give the next person a little gem of who we are that can empower them, that can ignite them to go on and do something different, to do something, period.